Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the 11th seminar to the Saudi Basketball Federation webinar series. Today, we will start our first seminar of the 3x3 week webinars, and we will start it with a person who has made a huge impact to the sport and played a major role of making a dream to come reality by moving the 3x3 from the street to the Olympics. I'm honored to present Mr. Ignacio Soriano, FIBA 3x3 head of events and partnership. My friend Ignacio, welcome to our webinar, and we are very thankful for accepting our invitation today. And hopefully it's going to be a very fruitful seminar today.
Thank you very much, Ghassan. Marhaba Shabab, Kifalek, Shahbarek, Shlonek, Ahil, Inshallah Khair, Alhamdulillah. No? Thank you very much. It's my pleasure, it's my honor to be with you guys here, with you and Obaid, after all what we have accomplished, no, all the objectives that we discussed 1 year ago, and it's a pleasure to be and to discuss 3-on-3 since its evolution and where we're heading to.
Perfect. So we are also having Mr. Obaid Madani. He's our special guest today, who's an SBF board member and head of 3x3 committee. He's also the founder of Jeddah United Academy that presented the first Saudi women basketball team in the history of Saudi Arabia. My old friend Obaid, welcome to our webinar, and thank you very much for accepting the invitation. I'm sure you're going to add a lot to our discussion today.
Inshallah. Thank you so much, Dr. Ghassan, for this invitation. Ignacio, it's good to see you again, and hopefully we'll add a lot of values in this webinar.
Webinar, they're almost the same. So it's just, I think it's the new trend today to call it.
Correct.
Yeah. So just to announce this, للأحبة الكرام اللي يتابعونا اليوم حيكون اللقاء باللغة الإنجليزية، ولكن إن شاء الله يتم ترجمة اللقاء في خلال 2 أو 3 بالكثير للي يستفيد منها الجميع. فأشكر تفاهمكم للموضوع. Mr. Soriano will be talking today about the evolution of 3x3 and the current challenges. So Ignacio, the mic is yours.
Thank you, Ghassan. Thank you, Obaid. Well, again, thanks for the invitation. It's a pleasure to discuss with you. What I've prepared for today is a short presentation that we can follow while I speak. However, both feel free to chime in when you consider or to add any personal experience or comment to it. As we have been working together for a year now, and I think us as a team shared many experiences, no? So we can go ahead with the video if you want. This is a video of introduction of 3-on-3. It's very similar to the one we used in 2017 for our proposal to include 3-on-3 as a new discipline for the Tokyo 2020 Games, which was successful. So I hope you like the video.
All right, just give me a second. I'm actually full of goosebumps watching this video and seeing all. It's an amazing clip, and particularly when I saw Jeddah World Tour, man, it's a hell of a job we all have done all together with fantastic team. So I'm gonna go back to your presentation, but this is an amazing video, man.
Yeah, absolutely, and we have the. Well, we will discuss more in detail the Jeddah event at the very end, because I think it's worth paying some attention to it. No, well, just to start, if you can go to the slide after the video, it's just an introduction. Jorge Garbajosa, ex-NBA player, Spanish national team member and now Spanish Federation president, said while he was playing in the first ever 3-on-3 Open World Cup that was in Athens back in 2012, that he defined 3-on-3 as the soul of basketball, no? And I cannot agree more with this quote, and we have been using it since, no? Actually, we all know what is 3-on-3. It's a 10-minute sprint. It's 2 teams of 3 players plus 1 substitute, 1 hoop, 10 minutes, or the first one to get to 21 points is the urban team sport #1 in the world, said by an IOC commission study. It's an urban discipline. I think the Jeddah World Tour was the perfect example, where at least 1/3 of the events are, pure entertainment. We have special performances, we have live DJ, we have break dancers, we have free entrance, we have nice activations area, and they are events that they get the best value for the downtown entertainment. No? The games are exciting. I think that 1/3 of the games are decided by 2 points or less, and it's a very fast-paced game. That is what nowadays people want to consume. No? If you turn to the other slide, this is a little bit the evolution of FIBA 3-on-3 when we started in 2010. 2010 was the first ever 3-on-3 official event. It was the Youth Olympic Games in Singapore, where I think it's important to mention that there was no 5-on-5 discipline. Only 3-on-3 is played at the Youth Olympic Games. No? So I think this is the best proof that is the most appealing discipline for the youth. No? In 2011, we had our first Youth World Cup in Rimini, in Italy. And in 2012, we had our first ever season of the professional circuit that we will discuss later, the FIBA 3x3 World Tour, and the first Open World Cup that I referred to before in Athens. Yeah. Also, the next slide, I think it's very important because what we want is professional. You can change slide, Ghassan. We want professional 3-on-3 players, and some years ago we have seen this rising, and now I would say that more than 70% of the top 10 teams in the world are fully 3-on-3 professional, which this I think is thanks to all the efforts that FIBA and all the local organizing committee are investing into prize money. No? If you see the data from 2018 to 2019, we increased 40% the prize money, and from 2019 to an estimation that with a realistic scenario for 2023, we are planning to increase 140%. Of course, this taking out the COVID-19 situation. No? So this proves that things are going well. The product is being proved to be successful. Cities that are hosting events are repeating, and we're signing long-term contracts. So from 2018 to 2019, we increased 30% the number of official 3-on-3 events. This is, I think that the numbers are self-explanatory, and this is a realistic scenario. Again, now with COVID-19, we can discuss later what has been the impact or what will be the impact for short term for this season. But I think that this is proven to have continuous growth with concurrent prize money increases. No? Now, I will explain a little bit the FIBA, the 3-on-3 competition network and competition system. How does it work? You can change. Yeah, thanks. So we need to differentiate between 2 different competitions. One is the professional circuit, and one is the national team competitions. Professional circuit, the teams represent themselves, their city, and national teams, the teams represent their country. The teams are selected by the National Basketball Federation of each country. No? So professional circuit is where the players they play for money. So we have a yearly pro circuit, as I said before, starting 2012 with the World Cup, with the World Tour, sorry. And nowadays we have 52 professional events, which are 2-day tournaments, which are 27 challengers and 11 masters plus one final. This was 2019. We're increasing number of professional leagues, as you know, and we have discussed. Sometimes we have the professional league in Japan, we have the professional league in India, we have plans to develop a league in North America. So we have currently plans to continue developing the professional leagues. And the professional circuit is shown in more than 100 countries on TV and our powerful and strong social media that we will discuss later. Then we have the national teams that they do not play for money. There are medals. They're always, all the events are men and women at the same time. We have yearly World Cups, which is a 5 or 6 day tournament. And we have yearly also youth events, so under 18 and under 23 World Cups, plus Continental Cups. And I think this is very, I'm quite proud to say that we have America's Cup, which is new, that has been signed in Mexico City, open and under 18. We have in Asia, we have in Africa, and we have in Europe. So I think we covered all the world. And we also have U23 Nations League, which is a tool that FIBA introduced a couple of years ago to identify the talents and the next Olympians. They are different events in number of competing teams and length, and we need to see that all the effort that FIBA is doing to increase every single year more and more events. Continental Cups, for example, they have qualifiers. This year we should have had 2 Olympic qualifying tournaments, no? So this is the increase that I was talking before, that I think it should make us proud that on the current scenario, with a lot of small or different new sports emerging, our trend is to increase double-digit every single year. In the next slide, you can see the 2020 season outlook, of course, before the COVID-19 outbreak. I think 2020 was our season, no? We would have had a record year for both professional season and national tour and national team events, including the first ever, as I mentioned before, the 2 Olympic Games, the 2 Olympic qualifying tournaments for Olympic Games. And on the pyramid of the professional season, you see the World Tour final, which will be held in Riyadh, which I'm very proud of all the work that we have been doing and all the negotiations that we have been discussing over the past months. We would have had a record 13 World Tour Masters and 30 Challengers. Challengers are qualifiers to World Tour, so you need to go up the pyramid, no? And then in terms of national team events, well, I think also a record year, as I said before, a newly fresh and signed America's Cup in Mexico, well, Continental Cups in every territory, and very important, under 18, under 23, and open yearly World Cups, no? The next slide, you will see the world map with the pro circuits, where the pro circuit of FIBA 3-on-3 global footprint. Stars are World Tours, the red dots are the Challengers. You see that the Southeast Asia, Europe, Americas is practically all covered, and the blue territories are the qualifiers to these events, no? So at the end, I think that the pro circuit has a multiplying effect and a global reach through the qualifiers, and this is something that we always say, that this 3-on-3 is open for everyone. You can just go, you can play, and you can start qualifying, and at the end of the day, you can end up playing a World Tour, no? Which is the highest level rank competition in the world of 3-on-3. We have more than 500 qualifiers in 50 plus countries. So again, I insist in this being a global product. Let me also mention that in general, 3-on-3 is open to everyone, and the main difference when hosting 3-on-3 compared to 5-on-5 is that 3-on-3 can be organized or hosted by 1, national federations, same as 5-on-5. 2nd, private promoters. 3rd, cities, municipalities, and 4th, private sport companies that they do this for business, no? The next slide is just briefly what I have been discussing: national team competitions, World Cup, Continental Cups, and U23 Nations League, no? This picture is of last year of our World Cup in Amsterdam, where I think it was the best 3x3 event ever. The venue was nearly 4,000 sitting stadium capacity, and we were playing in the main hotspot of Amsterdam, which was the Rijksmuseum, no? And then the value of 3-on-3, I think that the 3x3 events enjoy a strong audience. No, we offer downtown iconic locations, which is seen to the wider public. So not only the basketball fans see 3x3, also we welcome all the family, and Jeddah 3x3 World Tour was a perfect example that we could see the whole families, we could see the kids, we have an activation area for them to spend some time, and it's completely open to all the public. No, I think that the recipe comprised by good locations and a sticky product with urban and youthful flair leads to full bleachers over the weekend. And we have seen all along, all different cities, different cultures, and we've seen that 3-on-3 is completely successful again. And I insist, we want people to be active, we want people to have fun, and it's not only about sitting and watching basketball. We want people to be entertained, we want people to get back to home and say, wow, 3x3 is the best sport I've ever attended, and you know, I want to play and I want to follow FIBA 3x3. And the next one, I think it's worth mentioning, the right blue circle, that this is a survey that we conducted last season on the FIBA 3x3. No, 96% of the people would recommend the event, 89% had fun or a lot of fun, and 93% stayed more than one game. I think that this is good. I think that the numbers speak for themselves, and this, of course, we need to keep improving. Our objective is to be 100%. However, I think that we're on the good path to continue growing as we have done until now. Then you can see here a summary of our social media. I think that the graphs are self-explanatory. Important to mention that FIBA 3x3 social media followers are under 30 years old, which I think is quite significant. And well, FIBA 3x3 has a dedicated media department who is doing an excellent job. We also have Kyle Montgomery, that he's the voice of 3x3. And the event's hosts are doing an outstanding job taking the 3x3 events to the next level. No? So I think this is a lot of great things together that are mixed for a great outcome. And allow me to say, and Ghassan, you have the presentation, so whoever wants this presentation, you can require it to Saudi Basketball Federation, and they will be happy to send it, no, to share it. Again, worldwide TV coverage. We are in 100+ countries who broadcast the World Tour and FIBA 3x3, and we have a live and 26-minute highlights magazine of each event. And here you have the logos of some of the TVs that have been airing our events. No? And then last but not least, the corporate social responsibility, which is something that all the team and me personally, I fight a lot. I think that 3-on-3 is a key part of integration through sports. We do a lot of efforts, as you guys know, when we visit an event with our players. We go to do school visits, school clinics. We go to see kids in hospitals to give them gifts. We organize training camps, we organize clinics, and we do a lot of stuff because we believe that 3-on-3 is a key tool for integration. We will keep doing, and of course, there is something also that our partners like, no, and our partners support us with this. So we will continue doing, and of course, we already have some plans for this season for the Kingdom. In organizing more and more integration with kids. At the end of the day, let me say that I believe that 3-on-3 is the future of basketball for the youth. As it's easier to play, you require less installations. You don't need a gym. You don't need a coach. You know, it's a self-coach game. You just go with a couple of guys. You just need a basket and a ball, and you start playing. You know, it's the basketball that we've always have been watching in the parks, and we have been taking this to another level. And then AOB, which means any other business. But first, as I said before, I think we should see the event recap video that we organized in Jeddah last year. For those watching and that do not know, last year in the month of October or November, I believe, it was our first ever FIBA 3-on-3 official event in the kingdom of Saudi Arabia. And I believe that, well, this picture is from there. And I believe that the level of the event was extremely, extremely high. I'm still very thankful to everyone that could make it happen, from His Royal Highness Prince Abdulaziz to all the Saudi Basketball Federation crew, and of course of you guys, Obaid and Ghassan, that I think from the very beginning our relation has been outstanding. And you can see this in the event, in the results, and in the outcome. And I'm very much looking to this year, the World Tour Masters and the final. Thank you, Jeddah. No, thank you, Jeddah. What else can I say after this this video? And also, well, I don't like to be this monologue, but I see, by the way, that our common friend Sadoun was commenting now the broadcast. So, Assalamu alaikum, Sadoun, and thank you for following us.
Okay, are we done with the presentation now, right?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. I'm gonna go back to. All right, great. I mean, it's fantastic watching these videos and the work that the federation, the Saudi Basketball Federation, as well as our partners have done. And actually, it was a great experience to me personally. And we've worked actually for several months for an event that took a couple of days, and a venue that took nearly a week to build, which was quite difficult. Actually, we went through difficulties, but you know what? It's the first time, and we learn. Even though we made mistakes, but overall, to me, I think we've done something, beautiful. And we got an amazing support from you personally, from FIBA, as well as from the Ministry of Sports. And we were followed directly by the Minister of Sport, Prince Abdulaziz bin Turki Faisal. He was in touch with us, along with Abdulaziz Baishin, head of events at the ministry. And the end product, I think it was fantastic to me. I don't know about you guys.
Also for us that His Royal Highness, that he attended himself both days, I think is the best proof that he liked the product, and he fully supports us. As you know, we also had FIBA President Haman Niang there. I think that he was discussing with you guys that for him has been one of the top events that he has attended to. So yeah, we just have good words to you guys, and let's not forget, and as I said before, that it was the first FIBA 3-on-3 official event. So we went from scratch, we went for nothing to the very high, and I think that the bar is way high now.
Hopefully, hopefully. I mean, we had this meeting last January in Riyadh, and we discussed so many things about the future of hosting 3x3 event and the developing of the game in the country. We're going to go through it shortly, but I'm going to leave the mic a little bit to my friend Obaid, if he got something to say right after that.
Yes, definitely. First of all, it is my pleasure that I was one of the team members of making this huge event, along with you, my friend Ghassan, and of course with the supervision of Mr. Ignacio. I mean, it has been an amazing experience, to be honest with you. And keep in mind that I was wearing two hats at the same time, because as a member of the Basketball Federation, I have to support you, Ghassan, since you were the guy in charge of the event. that everything should be smooth and clear. At the same time, it was our pleasure to for us as Jeddah United to have the fan zone organized by us and the dunking show at the event, during the event of the second day, I think first and second day, yes. So it was a pleasure for us. And I know that not only myself, you, Ghassan, and Ignacio, we are not going to put our names in such huge event and we don't make it a huge success. There's no way. I mean, we put our hearts and soul. I mean, it was really beautiful experience. I think, to be honest, the next event that we will do, we will avoid a lot of the mistakes that you've mentioned. And like what Ignacio said, the bar is way high, and I think we are up for it. I mean, we can do a lot more.
I agree. It was excellent learning, I think, for everyone, what can be done in a territory in just 4, 5, 6 months. And big shout out also to my colleague Max, that you know, he's always in good charge as very good and responsible German of all the events, and he's doing my life much easier. And this is also everyone's life much easier. And of course, Sport Arena, leaded by Vlad and Radu, did an excellent job now. So hopefully we'll see us soon in Jeddah and Riyadh this year to continue the World Tour season. If you want, I briefly explain you how is the COVID-19 outbreak affecting our season.
Yeah, that was about actually my first question. Is, you know, the topic of the era, I would say, the pandemic. So everyone been asking the same question: what's going to happen to 3x3 competition events while we're going through this nowadays?
Well, unfortunately, you know that this year would have been our big party, big celebration year with the Olympic Games in Tokyo. So I think when the IOC decided to postpone this event, we could see what would happen also with the Euro 2020 of soccer postponed to next year. And these are massive operations, you know. So we thought that we could somehow diverge a little bit from the trend of canceling or postponing events, because MotoGP, F1, tennis, all the major events are being canceled or postponed sine die. However, we have unfortunately canceled already 2 of the World Tour events in Europe, which is, as you know, suffering the outbreak quite hard. Spain, which is my country, including. So the World Tour of Prague and Lausanne has been cancelled. However, we have big hopes that we could play between October, November, December, and January the rest of the events, except also LA, Los Angeles Masters, because there's a mandate from the mayor that no music or sport events in all the 2020. So unfortunately, we cannot play the World Tour Masters in LA. But still, I think that the good thing of 3-on-3 and its small operations is that we're flexible enough to relocate or to be able to adapt to the situation. Now, of course, the situation is not easy. Of course, we don't know what restrictions to enter to each country will be in place when we play our events. Not only the staff, of course, it's the players. So without players, we cannot play, no? But let's see. For now, I'm optimistic of the 13 World Tour Masters. I think that we will be able to still play 8 or 9, which, based on the current scenario, is quite an optimistic season, no?
Yeah, I guess we have to be optimistic in a way or another, but you know, at the same time, we have to be realistic. Thinking about all the travel ban and moving from countries to countries, and this is, in a way, is the life of the 3x3 teams. They keep traveling almost every week, some of them twice a week to play.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, a lot of teams they are 6, 7, 8 weeks in the road and not going back home. No, this is also the beauty of 3-on-3, that the professional season or the whole season of combined national teams and pro season events allows these players to play 6, 7 months weekend after weekend, no? And this is, I think, the beauty, and that's why also we want professional players.
Indeed. So, finger crossed. Hopefully, we're going to get over it soon, and we'll go back to normal, hopefully. But I guess you guys in FIBA are putting this in plan that, if the pandemic, goes even beyond the summer, do you have any contingency plan for this?
Well, our contingency plan is starting to cancel more events and delaying as far as possible the other events. After the discussions, for example, with the Kingdom and with the UAE, we have agreed that both events, the Abu Dhabi and the two events in the Kingdom, can be played in January, which this give us a little bit more of margin in this case, and I'm quite optimistic that these events will be played. But the plan B, we don't have plan B. No? At the end of the day, if we cannot play, we cannot play. And I think that the nature of 3-on-3 is not to be played indoors and without public. I think this is not what we want. And I've been reading these days now that Formula One is planning that the first event will be without public. Today, that tennis also without public. But I don't know. I believe that you lose the essence of the downtown sports, and our sport is to be in the city center, iconic locations in high traffic areas. If you take the high traffic areas, if you take the iconic location, if you take the downtown locations, I don't know what's the benefit, of playing like this.
And like what you said, Ignacio, if you allow me, Ghassan, in your presentation, like third of the event is entertainment. There's no entertainment there, so
Absolutely. But now I'm seeing that the new rules in some countries in Europe are that maximum 200 people per outdoor events with distance of security. With this, this means that if this continues to be like this in September, October, November, we will need to take actions when the time comes. Now, what we do is we follow a 2-month rule. And the decisions that we take are for events from now to 2 months. If the event is in 3, 4, 5, 6 months, there's no need to discuss because the uncertainty is so big that we don't know what can or what may happen in 2, 3, 4 months.
Yeah, true. I mean, I've recently seen one of the MMA event, and the logistics behind making an event during this time is really difficult, and security, social distance, doing tests just before the event, and all of a sudden you get someone with positive results. Man, that's not an easy situation, and I guess I'm hoping by end of summer things gonna go back to normal with either
Inshallah, alhamdulillah.
Inshallah. Obaid, you got questions?
For you or for Ignacio?
Oh, for Ignacio.
For whoever.
Please don't ask any questions.
Actually, I want, since you have so much experience in 3-on-3, I want to talk about our local 3-on-3. What we're trying to do here is that we're trying to organize everything and to channel it into one channel, basically through the Saudi Basketball Federation, because a lot of people are, doing the 3-on-3. It's not as hard as organizing a 5-on-5. You can get a half court, one back.
Should not be. If you tell me it's as hard as 5-on-5, then someone has a problem. I don't know if us by not being able to explain, or you by not being able to understand. But no, absolutely not.
It's very easy to do. So a lot of people are interested to make it and organize it because of financial support. Put it on their record that they've done 3-on-3 event and all that, which is great. I mean, the more event happening, the more awareness happening, the more ball dribbling. This is good for us. However, I think it needs to be channeled through the Saudi Basketball Federation. So we need to be aware of exactly who's doing what and where. Plus, we want to make sure that whoever is organizing, that it needs to be like in a top quality. I mean, at least decent quality, let's say. So do you think, of course, being the federations being aware of what's going on, this is, of course, it's a priority and it's a must. Do you think it's a good idea to put kind of a fee for organizing such things, that are very minimum, just to make sure that, yes, we approve, or we can give you support of, for example, maybe refs or balls or whatever, in return of this fee that the organizers are paying the federation?
Well, I think that we need to cover some different aspects of the question. No? First of all, is the level of events, as you said. No, at the end of the day, I think that the beauty of 3-on-3 is that we have a menu that is so wide that we can feed basically everyone. So, as I was mentioning you guys when we started to talk last year, FIBA 3-on-3 events can be hosted from 0 to 2,
Yes.
3, 4 million US dollars. No, but this 0 is as easy as download our freeware called Event Maker, having a laptop, and just starting to play, registering your team, and that's it. We do not need a structure. We do not need the execution or operation as such for a grassroots event. No, we can host it in school or in whatever park or in an indoor arena. At the end of the day, there are a lot of 3-on-3 events, second, third, fourth tier levels that are played indoors. No, so I think that the beauty of 3-on-3 is that it's open for every single budget. No, and when you say that it should be controlled by the federation, well, I may agree or disagree, but we have different scenarios of federation around the world. No, we have the federation.
If you allow me just to clarify why I mentioned to be monitored by the federation, is for the sake of ranking and points. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So, there, even if you're a private promoter and you're organizing an event, imagine that a private promoter comes to Jeddah or comes to Riyadh, and he organizes an event. Not just by the fact of having the event registered on the FIBA platform, these points will be on the benefit of the national federation. So the national federation does not need to organize themselves or through a dedicated agency the event for those points to go to the federation. Any promoter doing events in the region and with local players with passport of the national federation that we refer, they will contribute to the increase of ranking points of the federation. No, what we have is different situations around the world. We see some federations that they assign a couple of promoters to do the events for them. Then we have some ones that they create joint ventures, let's say, and at the end of the day, is on the benefit of a federation. And also allow me to say that without registration on the FIBA platform, you cannot qualify to any event. This is very important. So if you're a federation and if you do 500 events and any of these 500 events is registered in the FIBA platform, for us, it's a ghost, and you will not be able to qualify. That's why it's highly important for every federation to understand, to contact FIBA if there's any question, any doubt. And we're happy to help. We're happy to visit the federation, explain them how the system works, because at the end of the day, if you want to compete in the World Cup, if you want to compete in the Continental Cups, or even in the Olympics, to be able to get there, you need to be registered and fully visible.
Yes, I understand.
Okay.
What you said about the balls and everything, I think that it's a way to incentivize the play of the game. No, as before I explained or I showed in the slide that we have a dedicated 3-on-3 ball, which is just one size, is the same for everyone, and it will be the ball that will be played in the Olympics. No, and I think Wilson did a great job with this wave technology of the increased grip for outdoors. And I think that all these will incentivize the game of 3-on-3.
Since we mentioned the ball, my friend Vlad just sent me a message telling me he likes the ball back there. So let me take some questions from people who are watching now. Mr. Saadun Al-Kawari, as he said, he's watching us. Massa alayhi bil khair. So he said, thanks for Saudi basketball for you, Ignacio, and we need more presentation for different things like technical or roles. So we're keeping this week, the whole week for 3x3, all the webinars this week. So today we're having Ignacio. The next session on Wednesday we'll have Alish Kuntz as a coach, and he'll be talking about defense in 3x3, which is quite crucial. We're having Max as well for the operation. And on the same day, we're going to have Vlad from Sports Arena to be as a guest. So we'll make it. We'll make a table discussion on about the operation and organizing events. I think we'll end it up with hosting a ref because I think we need to get a ref to speak about 3x3 and the differences between 3x3 and 5x5 because there's a huge differences actually between the two. So we are hosting someone. So hopefully we're going to cover part of the stuff this week. And who knows, maybe in the future we might host more. Maybe FIBA will host even more stuff. So we'll see. We have Mr. Mohammed Khamis also. Nmassa alayk bil khair. So he's a 3x3 organizer. So he organizes events. So he asked, hello to you all. As basketball 3x3 organizer since 2017, I've already organized more than seven events. What is my relationship with the local organizer, local federations?
He's from where?
He's from Saudi Arabia. Yeah, he's from here, and he said, I mean, he's asking about the relationship between the federation and the local organizers, how it should be.
I mean, it should be a fluid relation, because at the end of the day, I think that if you're a federation, what you want is as many promoters as you can, because at the end of the day, it's a win-win situation. First, you have events organized, hopefully paid by a third party. You as federation are getting the credit because all these points or all these
as you mentioned,
are going to you, no? So I think there's no need to have a bad relation. I think it should be good. They should support each other, and this is what we are seeing in a lot of countries, no? Hopefully.
Yeah. Obaid, do you want to add something?
Yeah. That's why I mentioned it earlier, Ignacio, because channeling it to only one or through the federation, in my point of view, because of the ranking, because of the points, and it's good. It's good for everybody. I mean, it's a win-win situation at the end of the day. There's nobody's losing. But just to make it more, how can I say it, organized, maybe.
Wait, let me give you an example, and this is not a criticism, not at all. At the end of the day, different regions, different situations. No, for example, in Canada, we have been organizing a world tour since 2015 in the city of Saskatoon. Then we added Montreal with excellent events. So last year we had 2 world tours in Canada, and they were both organized, one by a private promoter who also is doing the triathlon in Montreal. They saw an opportunity of 3-on-3 and they invested on it. We agreed on the terms, and we're looking forward for a long contract. And we had Saskatoon that was organized by the CEO of the tourism of the city. It is a very small city that no one even knows where to put it on the Canadian map. And he said, I'm able to gain exposure with my Saskatoon team playing in the world events, and I want to bring one event to my city because it will be broadcasted in over 100 countries. And this, he cannot pay this, the monetary value of this, he cannot pay, So this is an example to tell you that none of the events were organized by the federation. However, the federation supports the events, and this has, thanks to these events, among others, Canada is now qualified for the Olympic qualification tournament. So maybe if we never had these world tours organized by private entities in the country, maybe Canada would never have been eligible to play on the Olympic qualifying tournament and potentially on the Olympic Games. No, so imagine how important it is, the role of private promoters.
Yeah, very important. I agree with you.
I guess I guess at the end, we need to have a good relationship with all the promoters. We need to have more than 1, 2, 3 promoters. And this comes into my mind that there's a question over here about the collaboration with or involving city councils, municipalities, and stuff in organizing events, 3x3 events. And I guess, and as you mentioned, Saxton. So it's the same thing. Why don't you guys in FIBA try to convince or do workshops to federations that they need to work on it on this way? Like, why don't you take this route and save money rather than at the end federations or
yeah, we are currently doing workshops. Even for example in the FIBA Congress that I think that you both were there. There were some responsibles of the 3-on-3 team development. They were doing workshops for the federations, to some federations, to understand that it's on their benefit to work hand to hand with private promoters. No, however, they sometimes have their own opinions, and unfortunately, not all the federations work hand to hand with the promoters. No, however, I think that the quickest way to to summarize this is that if you need to put all your eggs in one basket. Yeah? And nowadays we're seeing that after 3-on-3 was included in the Olympics, federations, private promoters, Olympic committees are taking this very seriously, because at the end we're talking about medals. Yeah, and we have only 8 teams per gender in the Olympics, which means that more than 30% of the teams will earn a medal, and this is a percentage that I don't think is comparable to a lot of sports in the Olympic scenario. And also, I really believe that this is important. I really believe that it's important to go hand to hand with federation, private promoter, city council, tourisms, and to play an important role in trying and have more and more level events. No, now we saw in very close example, like in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, we've seen now that NEOM wants to add as a private, let's say, as a private entity, wants to add a Super Quest, and we have done all the arrangements, and the Super Quest will happen this year. Of course, this is it will be privately managed, but as we discussed, Ghassan, previously, because the federation will be supporting by sending the rest, by sending the table officials, by sending materials, and by sending some staff to share the know-how learned on the World Tour. No? And at the end of the day, who will benefit from the event in NEOM will be the federation.
Sure, of course.
Because all this, not only talking about points, but also about development, because all these local teams playing in NEOM, they have an opportunity to play at home, to develop their game, to see foreign teams coming to play against them, and this is the only way to improve. No, you saw last year, for example, what happened with Team Jeddah. As soon as they started to travel, they were starting to working out their game, their chemistry, and you qualify to the World Tour final, starting a team at the mid of August or end of August. No, who could have said this?
Yeah, we've started quite late, but the guys have done a great job. Arish Kunz have done a fantastic job with yeah, and they were. I mean, some of the players were not even ranked, like Khalid Abdul Jabbar, and all of a sudden, they're all on the top 100 players in the world, and the team is ranked 16 in the world. And
that's why that we always say that success is possible in 3-on-3, and I think that the best example to prove what I'm saying is that a country like Mongolia or Romania, they earned their direct ticket without any need of qualifying to the Olympic Games in Tokyo. So they don't need to qualify in the Olympic qualifying tournament. They are already qualified. They already have a ticket to compete in Tokyo. Teams such as Mongolia and Romania. I'm not saying with this that the countries are better or worse. I'm saying that I think this is an example that 3-on-3 is possible for each country in the world, and not because you're small, not because you're big. No, 3-on-3 is just a matter of doing things properly, of having a structure, having a dedicated people doing this, having a couple of teams going around in the world, and now we have all the tools for them to play 6, 7, 8 months in a row. And again, and I think that this was the first thing I told you and His Royal Highness in his office, that success is possible.
Indeed. So my question here, why do you think there's a domination for the European teams in 3x3 competition?
If this question would have been asked 1 year ago, I would tell you that the domination was full of these Serbian, Slovenian, and all the ex-Baltic countries. However, last year we saw a race in the American teams. We had New York Harlem, we had Princeton. Princeton nearly wins the World Tour final against Novi Sad in Japan. So I think that other territories are coming very strong. They see that there's an opportunity to fully dedicate to 3-on-3. The thing is that the Europeans have been in the system since the very beginning. We have teams that have been competing 5, 6, even 7 years or 7 seasons, one after the others in the World Tour. So their game is pretty. They play pretty straight, no? But I think that every year we will see new teams coming up. They are reshuffling some players, and I hope, because at the end it's a universal product, to have more teams from other nationalities rather than Europeans.
Very good. Obaid, this question is for you, actually. So what is the plan for the 3x3 committee for, let's not talk about this year, let's talk about next year, for example, or the next 3-4 years to develop the game in the country?
Thank you so much for asking this question, because I already discussed this this topic with my committee, and we have came up with a couple of points of how to tackle this, and basically having it lay out and across the kingdom from the grassroots upwards. Basically, we need to organize many tournaments. How can I say? Let's name it the quests. Let's say quests tournaments for different age group, of course, and different regions: the West, the Central, the Eastern, and the Northern, to cover as much as possible the areas in Saudi Arabia. Of course, all of these tournaments will be registered. It will be through the FIBA for the event makers and all that, from the private sectors, maybe, with the support and supervision of the federation, of course. Plus, we were thinking about making it, for example, the best 3 teams or 2 teams from each region. We can make like a bigger tournament for them, just to get them to feel the excitement of these events and tournaments. Plus that we can what we can do is that we can have the support of FIBA 3-on-3 through Ignacio to provide us with the referees, and maybe do some seminars, and maybe you can when things get better, of course, with this COVID-19 pandemic issues, we can have them come over to Saudi and have like sessions and all that, just to educate the players, educate the coaches, educate the referees, who how do we take it to the next level and become really to have it present strongly in Saudi Arabia. This is the initial plan. Hopefully we'll stick with it, but God knows what's going to happen tomorrow. So I think this could be a good start, let's say, a good base that we can start with.
Excellent. Ignacio, what do you think we should do? Show us the big list.
I think that you've started the opposite as any other federation. You started from the top, so you started the house with the roof. No, now you need to have the concrete basement, and to have all these base players to build up a future. No, I think we've discussed already that our idea, or that your idea, would be to have a couple of teams competing in the very highest level, but then building slowly a national team. Because remember that Team Jeddah was played by not all Saudis. So these not all Saudis are not collecting the points for the Kingdom Federation. And I think that the idea is starting, introducing, as we did in other countries, introducing 3-on-3 the schools, that I think is easier and cheaper and easier to understand for them, introducing in grassroots level, so organizing mass tournaments. What we want at this level is mass participation, is mass tournaments. Forget about the World Tour with one court and one warm-up court and 6 hours per day. What we need is a venue. When I say a venue, it can be a parking lot, it can be the Jeddah United training facilities, it can be whatever, but we need there 8 simultaneous courts, 10 simultaneous courts, or 20 simultaneous courts with activity all day long. You can differentiate with age groups. You can do under 12, under 14, under 16, under 18, under 20, whatever. But I think this is the only way, and we should not take the approach of the World Tour as the base, because this is not. This is the elite. This is the very, very elite level, and what we need to base this, this platform of local players and to get players motivated to play is I start now here, and tomorrow I can be like Khalid Abdel-Jabbar, and I can play in the Jeddah waterfront as we did. So the World Tour needs to be a catalyst for these players and needs to be inspirational, and they need to see, the Jeddah event or the Riyadh event this year, and they say, but I want to play here and I want to be here in 2, 3, 4 years. And how do I start? By, for example, Jeddah United, which I think they did an excellent job last year, even with the woman competition, was to organize mass events, and you just need a bunch of referees and table officials, and they need to understand the system. And we, of course, from FIBA, we support every federation that asks us for a webinar to show how does the platform works, and we're open, and we have discussed, and we even did a referee course during the Jeddah event. So 3x3 has always been open to every federation to help, and we have people dedicated to this. We have coaches, we have referees, we have people that are experts in our system, in the website, in the event makers. So I think that we need to start building a base which is consistent of mass participation.
Indeed.
Brilliant.
Since you've mentioned that we've started from up here, we've been criticized that we are ruining the basketball in the country because we are spending the money on 3x3 big events without having the right route for it by pulling the 5-on-5 players. I understand their point of view, but what do you think about this criticism?
Well, whoever says that you're ruining the basketball, then also could say that you're ruining the boxing, or that you're ruining the formula, or that you're ruining other sports that you're hosting in the country without having a hero. I think in the boxing there was no in the how it was called, the Clash of the Dunes. There was no Arabic participation in the Formula E. There was...
No, in the Formula E we don't have, but during the boxing events, yes, we had Saudi boxers.
Okay, but the main event, let's say...
No, not the main event, of course,
okay.
Yeah.
So I would say that at the end of the day, what you want is your federation to be successful, and what you want is your federation to be in the Olympic Games. It is easier 3-on-3 than 5-on-5. I don't know. The facts are that how many times X amount of federations have to compete in the Olympic Games? A lot of them. The answer would be never. So why not giving it a try? And now with 3-on-3, And at the end of the day, let's not forget, and this is something that I always remember to people, that the medal of 3-on-3 in the Olympic Games and the medal of 5-on-5 in the Olympic Games has exactly the same value. So let's not underestimate the value of 3-on-3 now that we are both in the Olympic Games,
Yeah.
I would like to mention something, Ghassan, that I would like to be greedy here in this point, since I'm in the 3-on-3 committee. Having such a huge, successful event, the World Tour, approved by Ignacio and the Prince, His Royal Highness the Prince, and the head of FIBA, Mr. Niang was there. Don't forget. I mean,
Yeah,
everybody was saying that this was really, really top, one of the top, if not the best. I don't know. Is that true, Ignacio? We're the top, right?
Let's say one of the top. Let's say one of the top. I need to be political.
So having it like this and have like kind of a boom reaction that people would understand, oh my God, this is a 3-on-3, this is fun, this is nice, I want to learn it, I want to know about it more. I think, to be honest, it could have been a better way to do it. Now we can start from a grassroots. Said, okay, now we have a video. You could reach that level. You can reach that professional level. We can use that platform.
I think we need both. We need to keep the World Tour because this is the objective and the inspiration of these grassroots players that you're mentioning. And we need the grassroots to create those players. So I think it's a mix, and the mix needs to be balanced because I think that without one, there would not be the other one. So if we never hosted the World Tour in Jeddah, maybe to convince people to start playing 3-on-3 would be more difficult because there's no 3-on-3 culture in the country, correct? And if we just have the grassroots, but maybe the players think that this is just a weekend hobby to go with the friends, and they will never take it as professional. No? So I think that the balance is to have the mix of both. And I think that now your kingdom and the Saudi Basketball Federation are taking it to this level. No, again, this is not something that you can do overnight, but I think that you have all the infrastructure, you have the territory, you have the players, you have the motivation of the crowd. So I think that this can be done in the next Olympic cycle.
Inshallah.
Inshallah.
We have a question from Wala Al-Attas. She said, if I may ask about the players of 3x3, is it better if the player choose one of the 3x3 or 5-on-5 to be a pro in it? I think being a pro is not a very easy thing in 3x3, right? It's a difficult.
But being a pro in 5-on-5 is also not easy.
It's difficult too. Yeah, in a country like Saudi Arabia, it might be a bit easier if we start an official league. But 3x3 worldwide, what do you think?
Abel, let me first tell you that a lot of our top players, they were before even second division 5-on-5 players or first division but second half teams 5-on-5 players. No, so at the end of the day, I think that the important thing is to specialize in one thing. I've been working in FIBA since 2012, and on the first World Tour, we had players that they were 5-on-5 players, and they were just in August, their vacation period, or half injured, and the game has changed completely. I think that before telling no, it's better 3-on-3, better. First, you should decide what you want to do. If you want to be professional on 3-on-3, our prize money has proved to be high enough that you can make your living out of it. Yeah, and if not, you can discuss with Novi Sad or with other teams that have been on top of our circuit, or Riga or Liman, and you can have a chat with them, and they can tell you that they are earning more than in their 5-on-5 careers. No, so I think it's a matter of specializing in one thing, because you cannot be super good in 5-on-5 and super good in 3-on-3. No, hopefully, but this is not the reality. You need to focus. You need to train. You need to to have your diet based on what discipline you want to play. And we have done several studies of the fitness condition, and we have proved with blood tests, with pulsometers, with a lot of different stuff that is on the website fiba3x3.com, that players require different training, different coaching, because 3-on-3 is a much more explosive game than 5-on-5.
I would like to add one thing, Ghassan, if you allow me, please.
Sure.
When Coach Alice managing Jeddah team, we were pleased to have them in our facility for training. I saw Coach Alice pushing these boys to the limit. My God, it wasn't a joke, man. It was serious training. In the beginning, I thought 3-on-3 basketball, it was street ball, it was show off, like the and one, in the States. It's all about show off. Yeah, seriously. And then when I seriously saw what is this 3-on-3, it's a different ballgame, my man. My God, it's like in the presentation that you mentioned earlier, the guy said like it's a 10-minute sprint.
Correct.
Really, it's non-stop, and it demands a lot of mental and physical strength. I mean, and what Alish did to these guys in short time, I mean, morning sessions and night sessions, oh my Lord, it's no joke. But I mean, if you want to become a professional, of course, you can fight for it and you can try your best to do it. But like you guys said, it's not easy at all, what I've seen.
You need to take it seriously, and whatever you want to do professionally, you need to take it serious. Even if it's I don't know, whatever sport on your life, whatever you want to be professional out of it, you need to take it seriously. And 3-on-3 is not just another basketball game. No, it's 3-on-3 is as important as 5-on-5. And don't forget that 3-on-3 is one of our main pillars in the International Basketball Federation. So we treat this as the brother, not as the small brother of 5-on-5. No, and I think that we're on the good track, and I think that we're seeing an evolution of players and the level of the players. If you see year after year, we're having much more competitive games. We're having much more shooting range percentages. So, and as you saw, Alex is someone that understands the game. Alex won the World Tour final himself in Abu Dhabi in 2015. You know, so he's someone that, and he's also played national team in 5-on-5 and in 3-on-3. So he understands both aspects, and I think that he's a very good fit. And the move that you guys did was very good move because the results are there, and it's a fact.
Yeah, I felt sorry when I saw those guys working out. Sorry for them. But you know what? This Wednesday we're having Alice as well as Khalid. So Khalid Abdul Jabbar. So Khalid will speak up about his experience of 3x3 as well as shifting between 5-on-5 and 3x3, because they've done both the same year. And yeah, I think he went through some really tough times. So it would be good to hear.
He enjoyed. I think it's good that if he can tell the words that we were discussing through the season. I was with Khalid in a lot of events, and when he speaks about 3-on-3, he speaks very passionate about it. And this is what we need. I think and we've mentioned already, he's a very good ambassador for you guys, and he should be the one that you should take to schools to talk about 3-on-3, because he's a perfect fit for this.
Yeah, his picture was on the top, the highest building in town for like 2 weeks. So yeah, I do have another question over here in regards of since we mentioned the president of FIBA, Mr. Hamani Niang. We all know that he's a big supporter for the 3x3 sport, and he's attended so many events previously while he was the vice president of FIBA. Right now, he is the president of FIBA, so his role is different. Do you think that he is still doing the same? He still has the same feeling for the 3x3? He's still giving you the full support, or what do you think will be his role?
Yes, man, he is. Mr. President is such a good, nice person himself. Personally, I've known him for, I think, 8-9 years already, and he's always supportive for 3-on-3. I remember the first events that he was coming to see us, 2013, 2014, 2015. So he has always been around and supporting, and he always is interested in what we're discussing. In when we are hosting our FIBA 3x3 advisory board, he's always asking what is decided here, why do you do this, why you do that. So I think it's great to have him around. Also remember that the FIBA 3x3 World Tour Jeddah was the first event, that 3-on-3 event, that he came as president, no? So it was very good to have him there, to have him discussed. We had side meetings with His Royal Highness Prince Abdulaziz, discussing potential future cooperations. So I'm glad to have him there, and he has always been very, very supportive for 3-on-3, and we really, and I personally thank him so much. He has, showed me a lot of things. He has taught me a lot of things. I remember being with him in Beijing, being with him in Tokyo, all around the world, no? And I know that when the Olympic Games will be played, he will be sitting there first thing in the morning.
Fantastic. Since you mentioned the Olympic Games, I know we are it's going to be in 2021, but when you planned the event earlier, did you guys put it as, are we gonna have the same essence of 3x3 normal 3x3 event with entertainment and stuff in the Olympics as well, or no?
Absolutely, absolutely, and taking it to the next level. I mean, we have some surprises. We have very good surprises that we have been working with the with TOGOC, Tokyo Olympic Games Organizing Committee, and the IOC, the International Olympic Committee, and it was everything ready for this end of July. But well, all the plans are there. We will have light shows, a lot of surprises, because we want people to believe that 3-on-3 is the new trendy youth urban discipline. We're going to have more than 6,000 seats in downtown Tokyo. So I think it's going to be an amazing experience, and I can't wait, really, I can't wait for this to be rolling and to finish and to people to witness the success that this is going to be. And I'm completely convinced, and believe me, Ghassan, Obaid, I have been around them from 2012. I've seen every kind of event that you can imagine, but this all the parties are very, very excited to see 3-on-3 taking it to the next level, and this will be in Tokyo.
You got me excited.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we need to wait one more year now.
Yeah.
So just really quick, because I'm gonna ask one final question because the time is almost dead. And so, Wael Filibban, we're gonna answer your question in the chat room because it's directly to us. Dr. Ahmed Fallati said, thank you for the great webinar. A fantastic job in Saudi Arabia has been done on 3x3 on every level, which I'm proud of. Is there an international 3x3 referee courses, and how can we attend them? He's a referee over here, so he is asking about 3x3 referee courses, because I think we only have 2 referees in the country who are certified.
I think so, yeah, what we discussed last time with different levels. However, what we did in the World Tour Jeddah, that we organized this in a couple of weeks only, we had a referee course. What I can offer, we can propose, and I think this can be good for the development of the referees, is during the World Tour Jeddah and during the World Tour final in Riyadh to organize several clinics. And the World Tour final, we may organize a full session, full clinic, where we can evaluate, or our head of referees can evaluate and can give the FIBA 3-on-3 license to those that he considers. I think this is something we should think about, because at the end, this is one more piece of the total puzzle that we were discussing with grassroots and so on. If you have better referees, because the players will learn easier all the rules and the refereeing of the game.
Yeah. So I guess we are by almost.
I just have a quick question, if you don't mind.
Yeah, definitely.
Ignacio, just really quickly, in a nutshell, approaching the female division or department would be the same as the male, correct?
We had, what do you mean approaching?
Like, if we want to tackle the women's division, meaning that we want to do the training, the tournaments, the games.
Absolutely.
Yeah, okay.
Same, okay. And even I tell you more, last year it was the first ever FIBA 3x3 Women Series that was launched by FIBA. This is an international circuit all around the world, and there were national federations playing all around. And this is something that you remember, I even insisted last year in having a women's game.
Yeah.
It was too tough. It was first time, but I take your word that this year in the Jeddah event we will have a woman exhibition game. Correct?
We'll see. We'll see.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Since we approached the end of today's webinar, one final word. We'll start with Obaid.
Thank you so much, Dr. Ghassan. Thank you so much, Mr. Ignacio, for this beautiful webinar. I mean, as always, we've learned a lot from you guys. It is my pleasure that I've worked with you guys and continue to work with you guys to make this 3-on-3 a big thing in Saudi Arabia. And hopefully that we'll be seeing each other physically very soon after this, this thing goes away, inshallah.
Inshallah. My friend Ignacio.
Absolutely, Obaid, and we we are always here to support. We're always here to help. We want to drive this way through with you guys, Private Promoters Federation. We're always here to help, and I think that our commitment as a team, not as International Federation, as a team, is great. And at the end of the day, this is also based on personal relationships. And I think that we've accomplished something in 1 year, at least to have an excellent, very great personal relationship out of the professional relationship. So I can consider you friends, and this is part of the beauty of this discipline. No, again, thank you for the webinar. I think it's great to spread the word. I think that this makes the federation, makes 3-on-3, that at the end is our best interest. Look and spread the word, and I think that this is great. So thank you very much, and Ramadan Kareem.
Thank you very much, Ignacio. I hope this won't be the last time to see you over here in the webinar. Maybe we're going to get you very soon, because this was really an outstanding presentation, and the work you guys have done throughout these years to develop this sport is amazing, and so the story will keep going. So thank you very much, and just after thanking you for the outstanding presentation and going through the amazing work, I also like to thank my friend Obaid for being part of today's webinar. You indeed have enriched it with spot-on questions and discussions. So our next seminar is this coming Wednesday, the 13th of May, with Coach Alish Kuntz. He is one of the most known people to the 3x3 community as a player and as a coach. He will be talking about the defense in 3x3. I don't really recall seeing Alish Kuntz online giving any online courses, so this might be your chance to ask him questions live, and to communicate with him. So lastly, I hope we all unite to fight this pandemic and save lives by simply staying home and act responsibly. Please stay safe, and Assalamu alaikum.